Great. So as I say, we're going to be having a very practical class tonight. I'm going to be delivering you right now a present that I have for you. And that is, let me just, okay, great. The present is the following. Let me share my screen, just a second. Okay, great. So it was saying this, let me share. All right. So this, look at your WhatsApp group. I'm sending right now, very important thing. This is a very, very nice resource that I found some time ago for you to practice the first task of the speaking section. That is, of course, precisely the one that we're going to be practicing tonight. So please look at it. If you open it, you're going to see this. It's a website that will basically consist, as you know, of different questions and statements for this section that you know well. The first task of the speaking section, it's merely about personal and controversial topics for you to offer a response about, right? Well, we have known all the theory, and to this point, we have already very, very much knowledge and studies on this particular part. So it's time for us to apply everything we have been learning throughout this week, okay? So please, all of you, let me here paste to the chat box this first question that is going to serve, as I say, as our first exercise for tonight's practice. So let me first, well, here comment on something. The way this works on the exam to your students is that when you actually go to the exam, as I told you, right, in the speaking section, something very important is that your headphones are going to be on your head, right, and the microphone, etc. So when you are in this part, this question is going to be read by a voice in your headphones, right, because you have your headphones, right? So there's going to be a voice, as I told you, that reads this question. And that voice also reads the instructions. It reads many parts of the screen. Basically, all the letters on your screen are going to be read by this person, okay? In your headphones, you're going to listen to this person reading this particular question and also the instructions, okay? So when the voice finishes reading, the voice itself, as I told you, tells you, okay, now that we have read the question, you have 15 seconds in order to prepare your response. You can start after the beep. There is a sound like beep, something like that. So now many people, what they do is that they think that it's necessary for you to always stay until the last part. That is to say, always stay until the end in order for you to respond, or excuse me, in order for you to prepare your response. That is to say, they wait until the voice tells them to prepare their response, but they do not realize many times that it is not actually necessary to wait until the beep sounds in order for you to start preparing your response. If you, for example, read faster than the voice, then you are totally capable and allowed to start preparing your response at that time. For example, in this case, of course, I am going to be fulfilling the role of that voice, right? I'm going to read this sentence or statement aloud. And if you manage to read faster than me, you can please, and you are very much encouraged to start preparing your responses even before I tell you to do so when I start the chronometer with the 15 seconds you have. Okay, so please, on the exam, it works exactly that way. You listen to the voice, but you don't have to wait until the voice actually finishes reading the statement for you to start preparing your response. You can just start when you read the topic and when you get the idea, okay? Just in case you wanted to know that. Fantastic. Well, so let me read, and if, as I said, if you read faster than me, please serve yourself and start preparing your response, okay? So it says, people should no longer be allowed to own pets, like dogs and cats. Here, of course, it's not cars, right? It's dogs and cats. So people should no longer be allowed to own pets, like dogs and cats. Do you think that this is a good idea? Give reasons and details to support your argument, okay? Very good. So please, both of you, dear students, start preparing your responses for this question, starting now. There you are. Okay. Well, fantastic. So it's time for us to start with this first responses round. Okay, so please, dear Abigail, could you help me with the first response? You're going to be the first one to the response in this case. So please, you can enable your microphone, and then you can please start delivering your response for this question now. Shall we start again, dear Abigail? Or you're having some troubles with your mic, maybe? You can write down in the chat box if you want what's going on. Maybe you want to start since next round. Tell me. All right. Well, let's go with Mariana. Okay, please, dear Mariana, you're going to be the next one to respond. Okay, so please look at your screen and you can start responding to the question now.
1 second, Mr. Please.
Oh, yeah, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry, dear Mariana. It's okay. All right. Very good. You can also tell me, dear Abigail, when you are ready to respond, okay? It's totally fine if you want to start since next round, or maybe you're having some troubles with your microphone, but let me know, okay? I would be very much pleasure to know. Okay, well, you tell me when you're ready, okay, dear Mariana? I'm going to be waiting for you. Here. Let me here show you the template so that you can remember it before you respond, maybe would be a good idea. Here you have, it says, well, the structure that we have been learning throughout this week, right, has been this one. And it consists in these very simple steps, right? We have with regard to the topic, and then we, of course, deliver our opinion about that particular subject matter that we are about to discuss, right? With regard to the topic, I believe that in this case, right, people shouldn't be allowed to still manage and handle pets. I think this way because of the following reasons. First of all, right, first argument, first of all, because animals should be treated with respect and freedom. As an illustration, I had a parrot that, because I put it in my bedroom, died because of lack of liberty and freedom. Secondly, right, second argument comes next. Secondly, animals are actually dangerous for human safety and health. As an illustration, I had an uncle who, because she had a lot of contact with her cats, got a very severe allergy, and she finally died because of those animals, right? So you can see a very short response, but anyways, very succinct, very concise, and, well, as I say, delivering short sentences as arguments and offering very personal and specific illustrations, right? That's the idea. Well, are you ready to start, dear Morena?
Yes.
Yes? You ready? Great. Fantastic.
Okay. For begin, I disagree that people.
Go.
To begin with, there are the companies or people, for example, work. I feel so happy when I see my baby. There are 2 cats. And the second reason is because pets reduce stress. For example, when I play with my cat, my problem and worry disappear.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Mariana. Fantastic. Okay. What about Abigail? Abigail, can you hear me? Am I audible to you? No? Okay. That's fine. Don't worry. Great. Well, so what can I tell you, dear Mariana? I think it's a very good response to one that you have offered. I like that you follow the structure try maybe if you can to move to a more quiet space. I had some troubles listening to you because of the background noise that I was perceiving in your environment. Maybe you can move on to your room, and that would be a better place to respond. But if you're not able, don't worry. I understand. Of course, we are not sometimes able to find a quiet space, right? But if you can, it will be fantastic so that I can listen a little bit better to your responses and to offer you a better feedback. Okay. Well, great. Anyways, what can I tell you? So as I say, I like the arguments you presented. I think that they were very, very ingenious, and I like that they were very short. And I think that I've been practicing with other groups before, and they very difficultly get that idea that arguments must be short and very simple, as you have done in this case. And you offered two illustrations that, as I say, are personal and specific. So very good. I want to see what you do next. All right, let's continue. So as I say, please try to move to a more quiet space so that I can listen to you a little bit better, and I can offer you some other recommendations. Okay, so let's go with this one. Here I am. Well, I'm gonna read it, okay, for you. It says the following: minors who are under the age of 18 who still should not be put in jail. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details in your response. There you are. As you can see, it's a question that asks you about the justice system, basically, right? Well, very good. So here we are. Okay, let me please give you 15 seconds in order to prepare your response, and you can start, please, preparing it now. Okay, very good. Dear Abigail, how are you? Are you able to respond to the question? Can you listen to me? Okay, I guess that she has some troubles with her microphone. It's okay, don't worry. Well, let's go with Mariana then. Mariana, please, it's time for you to respond this question. Okay, so you can turn on your microphone and you can start delivering your response for this question now.
You do an example, Mister.
Oh yeah, of course, why not? Let me do it. So for example, well, I'm gonna improvise because I didn't prepare arguments or something, but let's go. So with regard to the topic, I actually believe that children who are under 18 years old shouldn't be sent to jail because of these reasons. First of all, because they are not aware of their actions. As an example, I have a cousin who has gotten into drugs, but it's not because he actually likes crime, but it's just because he's confused with his life at this time. Secondly, they shouldn't be sent because other criminals could actually abuse of them. For example, the other day I was watching a documentary that talked about difficult experiences that young criminals go through. They are in prison and they are raped many times by other criminals, and they don't actually learn any positive thing at jail when they are imprisoned at that very early young age. Well, yeah, something like that. For improvising, it's fairly fine, I would say. So yeah, as you can see, that's the idea, right? Like giving very short arguments and then offering a very personal illustration. In this case, for example, first I talked about my cousin, but as I say, I don't actually have a cousin who has these troubles with drugs or something. It's just that I make it up, like because I'm thinking about my arguments, I think about something that can bring, as I say, some sort of illustration. And I make it up and I invent it and I say it. And then in the second argument, as I say, I talked about when I watch a documentary, right? So I'm being personal. And what I learned from that documentary was that these young people are abused in the centers, et cetera, et cetera. So I am against minors being sent to jail, right? So as you can see, that's more or less what you have to do. Yeah, it's a fine, dear Mariana. Can you start this response? Or you have any question maybe so they can clarify? Tell me.
Just say.
Okay.
I agree with the minors who are under the age 18 who still shown the jail for the following reason. To begin, people who are young and they are in learning time. For example, they should be given strong punishment. And secondly, they are very young and they can learn from their own mistake. And maybe um, they need some correction and can give it as community service.
Okay, very good. All right, fantastic. Very good. Okay, so very good response. For example, I liked the second argument you gave. You said, right, they have to learn from their mistakes, but not necessarily in prison. Very good, very intelligent argument. I hear you, of course, we're saying, right, they could actually serve in community service, and that could help them in order to, of course, learn that their actions have been morally wrong, and they, of course, are not going to reincite in the same type of behavior. Very good. I think that it is a very good idea. Now, here, if you are able to maybe um, to relate this illustration to a person you know, or a friend, or a cousin, or a nephew, even if it is not true, trust him that the illustration is going to be way better. Something like, I don't know, I have a nephew who had some troubles with robbery, and instead of being sent to jail, he was sent to community service, and he learned from his mistakes, and now he's the best student in his school, right? Something like that. As I say, um, even although of course it's totally made up, you can exemplify very well the argument that you are giving in this case, that they can learn from their mistakes through other programs, not necessarily through jail, right? So as I say, try to always make like a personal connection in your responses. And when I say personal, the only thing that I mean is the only thing that I mean is some sort of experience, or some sort of a person to which you relate these arguments, a friend, one of your family's member, yourself. I mean, try to always relate the illustration to a specific person and name who that person is. And it's better if that person has relationships with you. As I say, if it is your friend, if it is a family member, or if it is just your own person, as I say, try to always relate this to somebody, and it's going to be way more powerful. Okay, great. So let's continue. Okay, let's go with this one. Let me paste it to the chat box first. Good, there you have it. So it says the following. Do you think that it is a good idea to talk to an academic advisor before choosing your major? Support your points with specific examples in details. There you are. So this is the next question. Well, so please, dear Mariana, you can start. Where am I? Here. You can start preparing your response for this question now. Awesome. So please, dear Mariana, you can now start responding to the question. Okay. So it's okay. Okay, if you don't get all the arguments, we are practicing. The idea is that you push up yourself in order to always come out with the arguments rapidly. So please, you can start with your response now. Okay, shall we start again, dear Mariana? All right, here we are. You can turn on your microphone in order to respond, and please start responding to the question now.
I agree with this topic because we need to talk with some investors for trusting our money because the following reason. It is important to guide ourselves to how to face for what are going to do for the rest of the life. And so, for example, in case when I choose my career, yeah, I apply for advisor. Secondly, this is important because you need to sorry, I cannot.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Thank you very much, Mariana. Fantastic. All right. It was good, I think. So in this case, you offered one argument, one illustration, and a second argument. You didn't have time to mention the second one. Maybe in this case, in your particular case, I would say it's because we're speaking too slowly. Maybe a recommendation will be trying to speak a little bit faster. Because yeah, I think that is that and the pauses you make what is refraining you from completing the response with the second illustration as well. Because you do have very short illustrations and very short arguments. So I think it's a matter of, as I say, speeding up a little bit. But anyways, it's a good response. You talked about that. Well, advices are good because they help you to have a better insight and knowledge on the perspectives for your future. Very good argument. You offered an illustration saying that, well, somebody you knew took this opportunity to talk to an advisor, and well, that person, of course, turned out to be very much benefited from that experience. Very good. As I say, the idea is to always have these two arguments and two illustrations. Okay, so try to speak a little bit faster, maybe in the next response. But apart from that, very good. Okay. Well, let's go with next question. Abigail has come back. Very good. So let's go with this one. I'm gonna paste it in the chat box here for you. It says, do you think that it is a good idea to save about 5% of your salary each month? Give reasons and details to support your argument. There you are. Okay. So, you know the topic, and we can start with the preparation process. So I'm gonna start here with 15 seconds. Okay. So please here, Abigail and Mariana, you can start preparing your responses for this question now. Okay. So before you respond, let me offer you one more example. As I say, I'm going to improvise because I'm not taking notes or something, but let's see what I can do. Okay. So an example should be something like this. So with regard to the topic, I believe that you should definitely save 5% of your salary because of the following reasons. First of all, because it would allow you to save money for future emergencies. For example, the other day, my grandmother suffered a heart attack, and because my family had savings, we were able to take her to the hospital and she was fine. Secondly, because you can actually think about future desires you want and that you can afford through this money. For example, in the future, I want to be able to afford my own car. And because of that, I've been saving money since some years ago. And because of this money, I'm going to be able to have the best possible car I can get. Right? Something like that. That's the idea. The idea is to simply, well, first of all, always start with a very short introduction to mention your opinion, to say, well, I agree or disagree. In this case, if you believe that you should save 5% of your money, you say yes. And as I did, for example, because of the following reasons, right? And I said first, because it would allow you to prevent future emergencies, right? Something like what I did, right? In this case, I said my grandmother suffered a heart attack and we were able to carry her to the hospital because we had savings, etc., etc. By the way, again, I made this up completely. Thankfully, this hasn't happened to me. My grandma, it's okay. But as I say, it's fine if you make it up. And then I moved to the second argument. I said that if you actually save and if you have desires and objectives in the future, you can use this money to afford them. And I said, yeah, I want to be able to afford my own car. And that's the reason why I have been saving money since some years ago. And in order to afford the best possible car I can get, right? Fantastic and very simple as well. Very good. So it's time for you to respond, guys. Abigail, you have come back. How are you? Can you listen to us? Can you participate in this in response? Cannot listen to you very well, dear Abigail. I think that you have some issues with your connection, maybe. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, I can listen to you now. Continue.
Okay.
Respond. You
With
can start
regard to
responding
topic,
now.
with regard to topic, I am agree because of the following reasons. Savings are always very helpful, especially for health. If you have some illness or something difficult, if you have savings, you can do what you need. And secondly, for invest, you don't know when it's gonna be appear and a great opportunity to invest. And if you have savings, you can use this money in order to invest.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, dear Abigail. Fantastic. Very good. Okay, so it's time for us to listen to our dear Mariana. Let me hear a little bit my volume. So please, dear Mariana, you can start responding to the question now.
According to the topic, I agree with so say the 5% of salary for the following reasons. First, we need to have an emergency fund for any operation, and the second reason is because in the future we can invest or save in our own business, and we can enjoy before.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, dear Mariana. Very good. Great. So let me offer you some feedback, okay, guys? So for example, Abigail offered here two very interesting arguments. She said that saving money should definitely be something you should do because it helps you to save for emergencies. And it also helps you to, to plan and to execute investments in the future. Very good. She said that in this case, for example, it would be a good idea to invest your money in the future, and you can do this by saving money. Very good. Here, the only thing that would be lacking to me, dear Abigail, would be illustrations for both of these arguments, right? For example, when you were in the emergency one, you could have said, I don't know, my uncle suffered a broken leg some months ago, and because my family had savings, we were able to afford his treatment, and now he's playing soccer again, right? Something like that. Always offering a very personal and specific illustration. And what I mean by personal is, as I say, always trying to link this illustration to somebody who is nearby your life, a family member, a friend, or yourself. Okay, but very good, Abigail. Fantastic response. Then Mariana offered here, for example, an argument that I enjoy very much. She said you can actually use your savings. You should save, yes, because it can allow you to create a business in the future. And that was fantastic. You can create your own business. That was the argument. It was very short, very concise, and very well thought. And here, the only thing that you could have implemented, dear Mariana, to make your arguments even better would have been to offer an illustration. Maybe you can say, well, in the following months, because I've been saving, I'm going to create my first business on makeup. And I'm going to open my beauty spa, and I'm going to be attending different women around the country, right? Something like that would have been incredible. Always, as I say, making it up, inventing if you don't have something to say, it's totally fine, but always exemplifying with your own life or your friend's life or your family members, okay? That's the idea, to make the response very, very personal.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fantastic, very good, but it was a fantastic argument, very good response. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go with another question. Here we are. Let me paste it here in the chat box. You're going to be able to start. Okay, you can go. So please, dear students, Let us read it. It says, investing in a house is much better than investing in the stock market. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details in your response. Both of you know what stock market is, right? It's basically investments, right? It's like investing in companies, investing in Bitcoins, for example, things of that sort, right? What people are doing very much nowadays, right? That is a stock market. Very good. So it's time for you to prepare your responses. So please, both of you, start outlining and designing what you're going to say now. Okay, let me offer you here an example. Okay, so please let us start now. So with regard to the topic, I believe that it is definitely better to invest on a house because of these reasons. First of all, because houses are always going to augment their value in the market. As an illustration, my family bought a house 20 years ago, and now that house is twice its value as it was 20 years ago. Secondly, because if you buy a house, you can actually find a treasure in your garden. As an example, my uncle always told me that when he bought his house, he found gold and silver in his own garden. And that's the reason why I consider that if you buy your house, you're going to be able to find a very interesting treasure waiting for you. Now, notice, for example, this argument. I'm saying that you should actually invest in a house because you can find a treasure in your garden. And maybe you're wondering, is this something, valuable? Is this something useful? Yeah, why not? As I say, there are no bad arguments, and I gave that argument on purpose because I want to show you that if you offer a good and convincing illustration, as I gave, right? Because I said my uncle bought a house and he found silver and gold in his garden, you are able to find out the treasure in your house. So invest in that. As I say, there are no bad arguments. You can actually say whatever you want. The point is that if you give a good illustration, if you are convincing, if you are secure, confident of yourself, the response is going to be great and you're going to receive a high score. Okay, but of course, better if you always try to give serious arguments, right? But if you don't find any arguments that is super clever, go for any argument. As I gave, for example, in this case, treasure, like it's not super serious, it's not the best argument, but it helps, it works, as I say. The point is to be confident and to offer a very good illustration. Okay, well, that's it. So please, you can start, dear Abigail, okay, to respond to this question now.
With regard to the topic, I disagree because of the following reasons. Firstly, when you have a business, a small business, you can win money in order to buy many things. And secondly, if you are looking for a loan for the bank, if you have a business, the bank will accept the loan, and that's why I very agree with we have a small business like a stock market.
Okay, thank you very much, dear Abigail. Fantastic. And let's go with Mariana. Please, dear Mariana, you can delight us with your response starting now. Okay, shall we start again, dear Mariana? Okay, very good. You can prepare your mic and please start responding to the question now.
Sorry, teacher, I turned on my microphone. Okay, according with the topic, I disagree that investing in a house is better invest in the stock market for the following reason. Investing in the stock market can double value money over time. For example, some stocks such as PayPal, Coca-Cola, diversity throughout the time. And the second reason is that the house always lose value over time. and because we need to spend money and that's all. I have a
No, it's okay.
conclusion, but
Mhm.
it's over time. In conclusion, investing in the stock market is better. Just you have patience.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariana. Don't worry, it's okay. Great, there we are. So awesome. So in this case, for example, let me start with Abigail's feedback. So Abigail said, yeah, you should actually go and invest for in the stock market because that would allow you to, first of all, receive consistent incomes during a long period of time. Great, it was a very good argument. And then she said also when you have plans to offer, well, in this case, not to offer, but to ask for a loan coming from banks and also financial institutions, it's always more consistent and reliable for them to offer money well, to people who have these stock markets, right? Very interesting. So yeah, as I say, she in this case mentioned that. And well, the only thing for me, as I say, would be our illustrations, right? In this case, for example, Abigail, you could have said, well, I have created my first stock market about, I don't know, fruits and vegetables, and I've been selling them for very good prices in the last few months, right? Something like that. Or in your second argument, you could have said, the other day, my sister, who is also um, um, who is also a trader, was very much happy to receive a loan from the bank because she had this very small business in her own house, right? Something like that could have been great. But anyways, very good response here, Gael. And Mariana as well. So Mariana here offered very interesting arguments. She said that, yeah, you should actually invest in a house because, as I said as well, your value or the value of the house always advances in the market. So it's a very, very much reliable and it's a very much clever investment. So yeah, and as I say, maybe the illustration there could have been something, as I said, I don't know, I bought my house 5 years ago, and now the value is 3 times higher than it used to be 5 years ago, right? Something like that. But anyways, very good dear Mariana, as well. Fantastic response. You're improving very much, guys. Okay, let's continue with another question. Let's see what you think about this one. It's a very interesting question. Here you have it. It says the following. Do you think that it is a good idea to date someone who speaks a different language than you do? Support your points with specific examples and details. There you are. So, okay. You can please your students start preparing your responses for this question now. Awesome. Okay. Well, Mariana sadly got out. I hope she comes back. Well, Abigail, please, you're going to be responding to this question. Okay. You can start responding to this question now.
With regard to the topic, I am agree because of the following reasons. When you date someone who speaks a different language, will help you improve your new language that you will learn. And in another case, for culture, I have a friend who date American guy, and she learned about her his culture, and she traveled a lot. And
All
I
right.
think it's a good idea.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Abigail. Very good. There you are. Great. Mariana, you have come back just in time for a question. Well, Well, let me offer one response maybe before you go and say your response, Mariana. Abigail has already responded, so let me here give a prelude before you respond, okay? Let me go. So with regard to the topic, I believe that you should definitely date somebody who speaks a different language because of these reasons. First of all, because you can actually learn how to ask for food and water in the case you have an emergency. For example, my friends dated a Polish girl, and when he went to that country, he had the opportunity to ask for food and water when he didn't know how to do it before. Secondly, you can actually learn a lot from traditions. For example, I have a girlfriend who is from Australia, and I have learned different traditions in Australia as the ones that have to do with wearing kangaroos clothes when you are younger. I don't know, something like that could be a response, okay? As you can see, very short arguments, long illustrations, personal and specific, right? Fantastic. So there you are. Please, dear Mariana. So it's your turn now to respond to this question. You can start doing so now.
My signal is bad.
Okay. No, it's okay, but I can listen to you. In response, or you would like to prefer to go next round?
Next round, teacher.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Thank you very much. Awesome. So great. What can I tell you apart from this? Well, Abigail. So I think that Abigail, you offer a very interesting response. You talked about how great would be for you to actually have some sort of communication with people who are from other countries and to have a relationship with them, because you can learn a lot from their culture, and you can actually, as I said, learn some traditions from them, etc. And you also talked about how good it would be for you to do this because you can actually learn a new language. And you talked about your friend who's dating an American guy, and because of him, she has learned a lot of language, and she has also traveled a lot. Fantastic. That's what I mean when I say personal illustrations. Very good. There you are. Let's go with a final question. Let's go with a final question. Okay. So here I have it. Here you are. Sorry, just a sec. Let's go with this one. I think this is boring. Let's go with this one. Well, it says the following. Everyone should be required to learn a second language. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details in your response. There you are. So please, dear students, you can start preparing your responses now. Great. So please, dear Abigail, delight us with your response for this question, starting now.
With regard to the topic, I am agree because of the following reasons. When you learn a second language, it allow you to be as an international student. It will help you, and secondly, you can travel around the world. For example, I have cousin. He learned English, and that's why he win a scholarship, and he was able to study in another country.
Great. Thank you very much, Abigail. Fantastic. And let's go with Mariana. So please, dear Mariana, delight us with your response, starting now.
According with the topic, I agree with people know other language for the following reason. First, because people who know another language have a more opportunity job
for the future. And the secondly, because we communicate with other people, we can travel around the world with more facilities.
Yeah, incredible. Thank you. Yeah, facility is a right word. Facility, facilidades. Yes, it's totally fine. Facility. Okay, great. So awesome. So for example, Mariana here offered a very interesting response. She said that first of all, you can actually find more job positions if you speak a secondary language. Absolutely right. Very good response. And she also offered them a response when she said that you can actually as well travel with a lot more easiness. Now here, as I said, always try to give personal illustrations, right? Maybe you could have said, currently I am working for an international company, and that couldn't have been possible if I didn't know how to speak English, right? Something like that. Abigail, as well, fantastic response. In this case, you offered a very interesting argument when you say, yeah, when you speak a secondary language, you can actually go and study abroad. And for example, my cousin, right, who speaks English, got on a scholarship in order for him to study in the US. Fantastic. That's what I mean when I say personal illustration. Very good. Okay, so as you can see, dear students, you have improved very much throughout the night. I am very much content and happy with your performances. And of course, we're going to continue tomorrow in order to perfect and polish all the details we have to, of course, see before we move on to another topic. Okay, so we're going to stop our class here tonight. And please don't go until I tell your assistance. And please help me with your swift responses to the poll, okay? I'm going to be, of course, always appreciating that. So let's go and let's see. Now, if you have any question, any commentary, please let me know. Here I am. Okay. So it's here present our dear Abigail Graciela.
Present.
Thank you very much, dear Abigail. And finally, we have Mariana Vaca.
Present.
Thank you very much, dear Mariana. Awesome. There you are. Well, great. It has been a fantastic practice tonight. I am very much content because you were here with me. And thank you very much. Okay, I see you tomorrow. Please try to always, as I say, have your mic ready. And I see you tomorrow in order to continue. Okay, have a wonderful night.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.